In the meantime, the Department of State Service has charged Omoyele Sowore, presidential candidate for the African Action Congress, at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Sowore faces 5 charges linked to posts on his official X and Facebook accounts, which the DSS says contains false and defamatory claims against President Bola Tinubu. The agency had given Sowore a week to remove the posts, but he did not comply. Social media giants X and Meta also failed to delete his account after a government demand. The charges accused Sowore of publishing false information and aimed at causing public unrest and damaging the president's reputation under Nigeria's Cybercrimes and Criminal Code Act. The case marks a notable clash between political expression and legal boundaries. Now joining us live is human rights lawyer and litigator Abdul Karim Musa. Mr. Musa, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We're wondering, what implications do you think this case will have on the boundaries of freedom of speech and political expression in Nigeria, particularly in the context of social media?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Yes, as it's obvious, this is, like we've continuously said, an unprecedented attempt at repressing the freedom of expression that is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the implications are very dire and very fatal, especially as it has to do with the future, because prior now, when people complained about defamatory statements, you had to publish in newspapers, you had to be on a national television to have said something to amount to defamation. But, I mean, now there's social media and a lot of Nigerians have access to social media. And because social media is one of the most prominent ways by which Nigerians communicate, by which Nigerians express themselves, by which Nigerians even have access to their leaders or get information from leaders, Nigerians communicate through this platform. And therefore, it is the most prominent means of communication. And any attempt at restricting the use of social media, especially when it is attempted to criticize or critique the statements made by government officials or political office holders, then we can classify such attempt as an attempt to clamp down on free speech and limit the openness of governance and government activities to the Nigerian populace.
Very interesting there. But do you believe the DSS's action is, in this case, constitutes a legitimate effort to protect national security and public order? Note that there is a Cyber Crimes Act.
Yes. Let me begin by saying that the act of the DSS is not in any way to protect the integrity of Nigeria. If anything, the act of Mr. Sowore, by making that statement or confronting the government as to the statement made by the president, is what, in my view, is even upholding the integrity of our nation, because the statement of the president that there is no longer corruption in Nigeria is on all false and misleading. Therefore, if Mr. Sowore had commented through his social media that the president had misrepresented the state of affairs in Nigeria, then what integrity, what image is the DSS protecting by prosecuting Mr. Sowore for making such a statement? If those statements are false, it is the Nigerian people who should clarify. It is the spokesperson of the president who should challenge the comments that Mr. Sowore has made. Mr. Sowore has not in any way lied about his comments. The DSS are not in any way protecting the integrity of our nation. If anything, this is tailored towards state capture, a state where no individual, no institution can stand up to the government or challenge the policies or statements of government or government officials. It is very dangerous to our democracy and the system of governance that we purport to practice. We cannot have a government that clamps down on free speech or oppose people who are critically analyzing its policies and its statements, especially before the world.
Well, Karim, Sowore's speech might also have been, well, you could refer to it as a claim. It wasn't a critique. It was also published on social media. So doesn't this in itself constitute an infringement?
Okay, now when we talk about defamation, generally there are defenses to defamation. The first defense to an alleged offense of defamation is that the statement that the person made is true. So in any case, I made a statement or made a tweet or posted something on Facebook, and what I posted, if I called you a thief, or I said you are corrupt, or I said you are a liar, or I said you are a criminal, if what I said is the truth, then I have not committed any offense.
Now Karim, I won't let you go too far.
Karim, as an institution,
may I want to jump on what you've just said now. First of all, it must be true. There has been no court of law that has said that the president is a criminal. So that makes it untrue. So hence, does this buttress your point or speak against it?
Well, you know, there's a level at which we can begin to examine these issues or the elements of the offenses for which Mr. Sowore has been charged. And if we begin to examine it in that level, we would have committed what we describe in law as entering into or taking a matter that is already before the court and analyzing it before the public, which is unethical in the profession. But I might just say that when a person is alleged to have committed an offense, the elements of the offense must show on the face of the charge. And for the offense of defamation, the elements are that, number one, that somebody had made a statement. Number two, that the person had published a statement. And number three, that the person against whom that statement has been published has been defamed in such a manner that right-thinking members of the society now undermine that person as a result of that statement that has been made. It means that people did not perceive you as a certain thing until that person made a statement or made a claim. And upon that statement, people began to perceive you as that thing that the person said you were. So government cannot be defamed. Government institutions cannot be defamed, because one of the major things to prove in alleging defamation is that now right-thinking members of the society will undermine me as a result of your statement. But if you are holding a government position or representing a government institution, the government has nothing to lose by being subject of criticism. It is only individuals. For instance, if I have a business and you criticize my business, and as a result of your criticism, which are lies, by the way, I lost customers, that is when you can now say that, I can now say that you have defamed me. So if in analyzing the government, I say the government is corrupt, or the government has conducted themselves in criminal ways, the government cannot sustain a charge of defamation against me.
Okay then. Now let's leave the president and Sowore to one side. Let's talk about the platforms that this information was put out on. How might the outcome of this case influence the relationship between the Nigerian government and social media platforms like X Corp and Meta, which were listed as co-defendants?
Well, when you look at what the Nigerian government is attempting to do, they are attempting to muzzle these platforms into conforming with their nefarious desires of deleting Mr. Sowore's account or his tweets. They had previously sent a message to these platforms to delete those tweets that Mr. Sowore made, or even delete Mr. Sowore's account. But because these are not platforms that can be controlled by the Nigerian government, the platforms did their personal investigation and found that perhaps there may be truth in some of the tweets that Mr. Sowore has made, and they refused to take down those tweets or Mr. Sowore's account. So now this going to court, and you see some of these things are just technical ways of or committing or perpetuating illegalities. The essence of going to court is to obtain an order and, present to these platforms that, we now have a court order for you, and which court orders are just easy for government officials to get these days, and then present it to these platforms and blackmail those platforms that, by the institutions that we have, by the institutions of law that we have obtained an order against this person that the tweets that he made are illegal, and for that reason, bring it down. So that if the platform refuses, they may begin to allege that those platforms have contravened the Nigerian laws and now find a means of depriving Nigerians or depriving the platforms of the operation in the country. So it's a tactics. They are all gimmicks. They are utilizing the institutions for personal gain. So these platforms have made their investigation. In fact, you didn't need to make any report to Facebook or X for them to take down a post that is offensive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All over the world, people criticize government. People criticize for the purpose of holding the government accountable.
Okay.
Sorry, there are facts that need no corroboration. There are facts that need no justification because they are known. They have been taking judicial notice of the fact of the corruption in the institutions of Nigeria, have been taking judicial notice of by every single Nigerian, including myself and you. So the government will be lying to the Nigerian people and to the world to say that it has dealt with the issues of corruption, because we can begin to interpret how corruption has led to insecurity, how corruption has led to the failure in education system, how corruption has led to the failure in electricity and many other sectors in Nigeria that Nigerians are still suffering up to date. So what is the offense that somebody has committed by saying you lied when you say that there is no corruption in Nigeria?
Abdul Karim, I would like to continue this conversation. God knows I would, but unfortunately we have run out of time for it. We must go on a break now. But thank you very much for giving your expert opinion on the issue, and hopefully we get to discuss this again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.